This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com back in snowy, cold Canada after 2.5 fun days in New Jersey. Was offered to stay the night again tonight, but I actually missed my apartment. I actually really like my apartment, and I'm a workaholic. I got a big company to run here, so I wanted to come back, get back to work, and there's a lot of news, so I'll jump right into it and stop yapping about myself. Dynamite did a 0.44 rating this week, which actually is 1 point higher than Raw's 0.43 rating. So, congratulations to Tony Khan and Sting for kicking WWE's ass this week. NXT tied its second lowest rating ever. Sorry, tied its lowest rating ever, 0.11 rating for their show the other night. Sami Zayn has re-signed a multi-year deal with WWE. That will really get their ratings out of the gutter, won't it? Mustafa Ali, who publicly tweeted he wanted out of his contract a few days ago, apparently WWE is not going to allow him out of his contract. Well, when you sign a contract, you sign a contract. I don't have any pity for someone that signs a contract to work somewhere where it's the dream of hundreds of thousands of people all over the world to work for a company, and then they want out of their contract. You know what you're getting into when you sign it. You have to get it notarized by a lawyer. That's your problem. And the way to get out of a contract is to not publicly tweet you want out of it. It's to go through the chain of command. Fightful is reporting that, by the way. Whoever told them from WWE. Carmella recently tested positive for COVID-19, which, by the way, I don't have it. I tested negative for it. And that's about it for the news. Back from Canada here, and somebody says Sami Zayn is awful. I agree. The only thing I'll agree with him on is he likes the Canadians, and I'm actually going to a Montreal Canadiens game February 21st versus Toronto, my favorite city in Canada versus my least favorite city in Canada. So that should be pretty interesting, and the lovely Blaze will be joining me for that one. Colonel Quail Piper, yes, she's due for a visit, isn't she? Wendell, yes, I did have to get a PCR test to return. You also, to get into the U.S., you need to be vaccinated, but you don't need a test. But they asked for proof of vaccination to get into the U.S. To go back, you do not need to quarantine. It was actually the border person when I was going into the U.S. actually knew me as a wrestler and kind of marked out for meeting me. So I was one of my easiest crossings getting in. And coming back, the guy today letting me into Canada was really nice. So there was actually a few people in New Jersey that were really happy to meet me as a wrestler. So it's cool to see when you go to other countries that people know who you are. Nick saying hi from Peterborough. Derek saying, what's up? Mike, I don't know if we'll ever see Rick Martel. Crying likes Dynamite better than Raw. I'm tempted to watch and review the Royal Rumble. I haven't fully decided yet. You fans can write in the comments if you want me to do that. Matt, I don't get what anyone likes about Sami Zayn either. He wouldn't be a bad manager, but he's a channel changer for me. Matt says Western Canada needs a promotion again. Well, it's hard to run anything in Canada right now the way the lockdowns are going. Supposedly, I heard today gyms are opening back here January 31st. I had a couple really good workouts in New Jersey. It was almost euphoric to lift weights again. But because I just had stem cell injections, it's better that I just focus on cardio and abs and neck for now anyways, and give my shoulders a break and legs. I can do free squats. Patrick watched my match with Eugene and says I was better than Eugene. Well, it wasn't the Blood Hunter. The Blood Hunter did not exist in 2005 or 2006 in Las Vegas at the Thomas and Mack Center, where I wrestled Eugene. I think they had something like 7,000 or 8,000 fans there. And I was told the match was good by the agents, but I wasn't signed until 3 years later. It's really a roll of the dice a lot of the times. Gary, I think that just answers your question. I've had matches for WWE, but I was signed to them, but I had a medical condition that I'm now cured of, which, by the way, anyone that was yapping that I still had something, in December, I was retested for hepatitis C, which I have been multiple times, and my December test came back negative, and it said he's cured. So I can't legally say that unless it's the truth. So I'm just telling you guys, for the idiots that like to paint me with the brush because they like stigmatizing people, not that there's anything wrong with people that have it. Lots of people have it, and it's very curable now, but I don't have it. Sorry to disappoint the people that want to see me dead. Stephen Cox saying hi from South Texas. Alan, yes, Goldberg gets ratings. Dennis says, I'm a great man. Well, thank you. Thumbs up to you, too. Richard or Dick, some people could name Richard, like to call themselves Dick, wants me to review the Royal Rumble. Would I interview Kimberly Page? I would love to interview Kimberly Page, which she kind of dropped off the radar. I would love to. And by the way, people have brought it up. In some of my old interviews, I wasn't always that kind to Diamond Dallas Page because I liked him as a bad guy. I didn't like him so much as a good guy. But I do like him as a yoga instructor, and I do DDP yoga, and he gave me his app for free. And it's one of the things that helps me get through the lockdown. So you will never hear me ever say anything bad about DDP ever again. And I highly recommend his yoga program. Where was I in New Jersey? Rutherford. And a few other places. Really delicious dinner last night. Had filet mignon, lobster, mussels to help grow these lovely mussels. I had octopus, really yummy dinner. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And my good friend Jenny Santana and a bunch of other people joined me for the dinner because we did it after an event. And Jenny had stem cells today too, by the way, and her injections went well. And I'm going to post the workout video I made with her yesterday sometime in the next couple days. Mike, there will not be another Virgil interview. Samuel Abdullah the Butcher was actually found guilty both in Canada and the US for passing me Hep C through trials in court of law, not through hearsay or public opinion, through actual trials. And the judgments are still good. So you can say whatever you want. You're giving me views. I don't know why the trolls, you obviously like me if you watch my videos, but you want to troll me. It doesn't matter if you love me or hate me. You're still making me money by watching my stuff. So thanks, dickhead. Patrick says my press conference and beatdown of Terry Funk was classic. Will Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker show up for my interview with him at 5 p.m. on Saturday? That is, should we have bets? Because he did no show 3 times, but since then we've become Facebook friends, and I don't know. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he didn't know about my channel. But I was shocked that he had no-showed my interview a couple times because I'd seen he'd done some interviews with channels where like his interviews, like channels that like barely have any subscribers. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're not going to do my interview when I'm literally the number one shoot interviewer on the internet, but you're going to do ones with people no one's ever heard of that are hardly going to get any views. I don't know. We'll see if he shows up. Akeem, which by the way, I heard from the one man gang recently. He's doing great. No lockdown in Alberta. Lucky for you guys in Alberta. I don't think Saskatchewan has one yet either. Hello, Maria Davis. Crying says keep up the good work. And Mars was at SummerSlam at 97. Good for you. Oh my God. Oh, Samuel's clarifying himself. He's glad he got caught. Well, I will say this. After I called him out, he never wrestled again. And if you know you have Hep C like he did, and you're going around cutting yourself and cutting other people, you should not be wrestling. Because taking your infected blood with a razor blade and sticking that same razor blade in somebody else's body, you're putting your blood directly into their bloodstream. That's like sharing a needle or sharing a razor blade. It's not just bleeding and maybe it'll go into the cut, maybe it won't. So he was actually found guilty of negligence, assault, and battery because what he did was certainly negligent. Do I watch UFC? Not really. I watch the highlights, or if someone sends me something, or if there's a wrestler in it, or if I'm training for something and want to look up a technique. I do watch highlights all the time, but I don't have a high attention span. So if someone paid me to cover an event or gave me press passes, I would. Matt loved my one-man gang interview. That was one of my best interviews. No gimmick guy says Abdullah is a disgrace. Worst physique ever in pro wrestling. I don't know about worst physique ever. There's been some bad ones. At least I'll give Abdullah this. And I'll be honest, he was one of my mentors. He did take me under his wing. So if you want to know why I have that vicious side to me as Blood Hunter, yes. Abdullah actually screamed with joy when I was signed by WWE. I remember when I called him, because it was before we knew about all this, he literally screamed on the phone because he never got to WWE. So he was so happy that me as his protege was like going to go, because it was like in a way he was going. So it's just unfortunate all that happened because I was his protege in a way. And yes, as always, the reason I brought that up is yes, he was fat, but he had the deep scars in his head. He looked scary. If you see him walking down the street at 3 a.m. after the bar, you're going to cross to the other side of the street. You see fat guy Kevin Owens, 5'10", 5'9", with a big beer belly, wearing his t-shirt and shorts. You're not going to cross the street. You're just going to run over and body check him. And if he says anything, you're just going to punch him down and kick him in the face, stomp him in the curb. So I don't think Abdullah had the worst body ever. His look fit. A lot of people will compare Kevin Owens to Mankind. Mankind had a scary look. He walked weird. He pulled out his hair. He had a mask. He was tall. He was over 300 pounds. So, yeah. Dennis had beef stew for dinner. Ivan, yeah, one-man gang is overdue for the WWE Hall of Fame. But as he discussed in his shoot interview with me, he had some heat with WWE. And sometimes they tend to hold grudges. Leo, if aliens are coming to Earth, what is their reason for it? Well, from what my research shows, they're there seems to be more than one reason and more than one type of visitor, let's call them. And there could be various reasons. There could be refueling reasons. There could be experimentation reasons. They could actually have bases either on Earth or underwater. There's a lot of reasons, and this is a wrestling update, so I won't get too far into it, but I don't know the one answer. They're very interested in our nuclear weapons. A lot of people believe that, like, us firing off nuclear weapons, if we actually have nuclear war, for instance, it could actually affect these alien craft. So yeah, they're very interested in our nuclear weapons, and there's been well-documented, highly credible military officials that have gone on the record talking about UFO interferences at military silos. So there's a lot of reasons. I don't know for sure. There's some people that might know for sure, but I don't know for sure, but I'm interested in it. Nicholas, I had a lot of fun in New Jersey. It was a nice mini vacation for me. Met a lot of really nice people. And thank you for the people at Prodigy Stem Cells that hooked me up with, like, I understand they're like $3,000 a shot, and they give me 2 shots. So I really appreciate it. And yeah, you guys can look them up. So I'll keep you updated on how those work. I had a really bad tear in my right pec from my match against Scorpio in PCW Ultra. And they said when they gave me the first shot, it was so deep. Looking at the ultrasound, they didn't think 1 would be enough. Maybe not even 2 would be enough. Maybe I might need surgery. But the problem is I had an MRI done on it in Canada 3 weeks ago. And because of this lockdown, they haven't even told me the results from the MRI, which will be able to tell me in more detail than just the ultrasound what's wrong with it. But it was still improving. I was back bench pressing nearly 300 pounds again before they shut the gyms. Ryan, I've had Kurt Angle on the show, and there's other questions, but I'm going to leave it at that for tonight. Be sure to like this video and subscribe, and go to our The Hannibal TV Facebook page and subscribe on there as well. And by the way, that Scorpio match versus Blood Hunter has almost 300,000 hits on Facebook, on our The Hannibal TV Facebook page. So thanks for everyone that liked our page and watches on there, because some of our Facebook videos now actually get more views than our YouTube videos. So I really love you guys for all the support. And John says the aliens have to do with demonic entities. There's a lot of, some people were like alleging that because I got stem cells, I was a Satanist, because they were saying they came from baby fetuses, which they actually come from umbilical cords, I believe the type that I took. So there was no baby fetuses involved. Michael really likes watching my show. Thank you. Appreciate it. And yes, hit the like button. Really appreciate it. Wish everybody a great night. Thank you for watching The Hannibal TV. Please help me out and like this video. Then click the subscribe and get notifications buttons so you don't miss any of my latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Follow us on Facebook at The Hannibal TV for more live streams and videos. And while you're at it, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at The Hannibal.